the 2K Sports pregame show.
We're starting to get some early answers on this year's big questions in the NBA season. And here to tell us what it all means are the experts. Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. I'm just your host, Ernie Johnson.
No one's an expert.
Huh?
No one's an expert.
Well, you guys try. We'll watch the Charlotte Hornets in this one as they go up against the Detroit Pistons. For Detroit, they're hoping to start turning around their luck. They'd love to get back on a winning track. 7 losses in their last 8 games. That is not going to get it done, and they know it. And as we take a few moments here, Shaq, the term basketball IQ is constantly thrown around these days. What exactly is meant by that? Because I don't have it.
Ernie, I have no
IQ.
idea. You know, you can be smarter than me if you want to. You can be a Rhodes Scholar, but you know what I will do to you. Doesn't necessarily mean you make good decisions on the basketball court. Basketball IQ, that term is overrated.
Maybe
Ernie.
Kenny has an answer to this one.
Well, I think most people, when they first hear about it, they're talking about seeing the floor, having the ability to operate in the flow of the game and understand the time and score relationship. That's what a basketball IQ is. Like not taking a three-point shot with 24 seconds on the shot clock when you're up 9.
Not fouling a jump shooter.
Yeah, that's basketball IQ.
Okay, thank you. Kevin Harlan has a very high basketball IQ. Shaq has it too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He just doesn't like it.
I went to BYB, Bust Your Butt University.
It's an all-Eastern Conference matchup in today's game as the Pistons come into town for this one. Bringing you some fun on a Monday night, it's the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. The big story is the return of Andre Drummond from being injured.
Well, they lost a bit off their fastball when he was on the sideline with that injury, guys, and things really started to unravel for him shortly after he got hurt, and they couldn't quite piece it back together.
And it seemed his absence affected this team really beyond the X's and O's. You could see that there was a dip in their confidence. And again, that's the intangibles that somebody of his caliber will bring to the table. And so now that he's back, I'm interested to see how they respond.
And a look at the starters for the Pistons. Young is out there with Ilya Silva. Then there's Ramon Sessions. Then there's Andre Drummond, and it's Vujicic in at the shooting guard position. Drummond, and it's good. Fought through contact, it's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Where's the box out? Some easy second chance opportunities there.
Those kinds of mistakes drive me crazy and will absolutely derail a team's chance to win.
Drummond, a bit of a disappointing season last year. Not so much in play, but people wanted to see a bigger leap from him. Now, his numbers are still pretty jaw-dropping. But I think he's got so much there to give.
He has a lot of potential, Kevin. And listen, I don't think his play was bad. He just had such huge expectations to live up to. I mean, player development is not a straight line, and it would have been very hard to have him take another huge leap forward. Sometimes you have that sophomore jinx. But I'm expecting a big year from him this season.
About a minute played so far here in the first. Taylor against Sessions. Tries from 10, and good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
Dishes it to Young. Kicks to Ilya Silva from past the arc. It's rebounded by Charlotte. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Chicago.
Look at what they did in the fourth quarter. I mean, they just went to sleep. Totally non-committal basketball. They allowed the big comeback.
Don't discount, though, the effort from the other side, because I just thought they took advantage of the opening once they got a little momentum. That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
They get it back. Nice shot by Vujicic. Taylor with the ball. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Chicago. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got his third rebound on the night. Young with the ball. He's picked up by Lamb. Sessions passes to Drummond. And Sessions kicks to Ilya Silva. The 11-footer. Here's Drummond, and the layup's good off the glass. Drummond's got his second bucket.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Now here's Taylor. Steady offensive output from him, averaging more than 16 points a game. Here's Hayward.
Oh, wow.
Nasty, absolutely filthy.
And the building is stunned, partner. He dug deep into his bag of tricks.
I tell you
there.
what, I hope he keeps that one handy. I want to see that one again.
Now here's Sessions. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. 5 to shoot. Again, the Pistons score. Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Sessions against Taylor. Hayward outside. Lets the three fly. It's Drummond with the rebound. Pistons leading by 5. And Sessions kicks to Drummond. And he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
Sessions doing a nice job that time.
The Hornets have gone 3 of 7 from the field since we've gotten underway. Taylor dishes to Lamb. Lets it go from 11. Ilya Silva comes up with the rebound. The Pistons have gotten 6 of 11 shots to go down so far. Pretty nice shooting. Pass to Vujicic. Young in the corner. And the shot no good, a bit short.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
And you can tell he's hungry, because that's how you eat away at a lead right there. Make some highlight reel plays and shake that defense up.
Well, Greg, you're right. Not all 2 points are the same. Not when they come on a stuff like that one.
Well, I like the craftiness in his game. I mean, he can distribute or he can attack the basket, just like we saw right there. Well, with Coach Stan Van Gundy, it was a very successful first year in Detroit.
He's a guy who's going to build around defense. That's been his MO.
And Van Gundy has always been a defensive first type guy, Kevin. I mean, the last 30 years, he's has probably the best defensive efficiency for a career as a coach, and his teams always play with great emphasis on that side of the ball.
That free throw, no good.
And guys, how about Ilya Silva last season shooting the basketball? Always a decent threat to score. His improvements in efficiency were amazing. He increased his field goal accuracy from 41 to 47% in only 1 year.
Zeller, he's checked in for Al Jefferson. He hits the second from the line. And we were talking about Ilya Silva. There's a reason his field goal percentage went up last season. It wasn't necessarily better shooting. It was probably better shot selection.
And I think the scheme played to his strengths. Lots of ball movement, penetration, kicking out the open spot-up shooters. Ersan showed us that's his kind of game.
And here's Sessions after Gordon Hayward hitting the three. And Sessions kicks to Ilya Silva. Here's Young. No good off the back of the rim.
Not a quarter to remember as far as his offense is concerned.
Yeah, you know, he's not making any kind of impact for them at that end of the court right now.
Now here's Hayward. He has 5. Good on the shot. Hayward's got 7 points in the game.
Now there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
Taylor against Sessions. They set the screen. Young outside. Feeds it to Drummond. Just 4 to shoot. It's deflected, and it goes out of bounds. That one is off Zeller. For the Pistons, Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Andre Drummond. Grant comes in for Young, and Winslow subbed in for Sasha Vujacic. Here's Sessions. The three-pointer off the mark.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Pretty clear. They're dominating that area. They've come out with a lot more energy and effort so far.
And it's going to be a 3-second call. Nelson, the big men in the league, didn't mind drifting out and letting it fly from deep. Here are the best three-point shooters, centers, and power forwards. You take a look at Ilya Silva. Dangerous player from three-point line, a great talent with a great release.
And the value of having a big man who can do what these guys can is that they draw bigger defenders out of the paint. You have to stay with them wherever they go.
And, you know, that opens up some wide lanes and paths to the bucket for their slashers, and they get a lot of room as a result to operate and penetrate. It's a huge benefit having a big fellow who can knock down threes.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. This is their first chance this season playing Charlotte.
And two teams here that were evenly matched a season ago as they split the season series.
Yeah, they'd settle for 500 against most teams. Both squads win challenge, perhaps a way to put it, but one of them has got to win tonight.
Detroit's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Sessions passes to Baines. And here's Sessions. Now the dish to Ilya Silva. Grant outside. Shot from free throw range. No good. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. Great offensive performance they're putting on.
You see the benefit of knocking down baskets consecutively because it leads to the confidence growing and growing.
And guys, we call that the zone because that's where they are right now. They are in a zone, and I'm sure they feel unstoppable.
Now here's Winslow. It's deflected.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game.
Here's Taylor. Pass to Lamb. Puts it up from 17. They get it again. The Pistons lead it. Sessions dishes to Baines. He kicks it to Grant. They set the pick. Now Sessions. 6 to shoot. Stolen. Ilya Silva can't hit.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
The general passes to Hayward. Charlotte moving the ball around. Baseline jumper. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game. A big dip in performance here for the Hornets last year. In 2014, they were very tough to beat at home, and that was not the case in 2015.
Yeah, I mean, they struggled to string together those defensive runs at home, and in the end, that led to their less than stellar record.
Detroit with the ball. After the basket by Charlotte. Detroit, no good that time either. Passes to Lamb. Back to Hayward. Zeller setting the pick for Hayward. From outside, off the mark.
And, you know, that record for the Hornets last year at home, they ended up going 19-22, 6 fewer wins than they had in 2014 when they last made the playoffs.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact, straightforward call, simple.
And getting back to the Hornets, they were the worst shooting team in the league at home. And they have to remedy that in a hurry. Shot only 42% here last season.
The free throw drops for Grant. And some changes here for the Hornets. Oubre is checked in for Hayward. Jeremy Lin comes in for Lamb. And it's Rozier in for Taylor. Then for the Pistons, Morris is checked in for Ilya Silva. And it's Chalmers in for Sessions. He's perfect from the line this time.
And that's the norm for him. He's pretty much automatic when he's at the line.
Stolen by Winslow. And here's the fast break. Winslow's leading the way. Grant kicks to Baines. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Baines has got his first bucket of the night.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spot. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
Oubre passes to the general. Lets it go from 11. Jump shot is good. The general's got his third basket of the night.
He's having quite the quarter here, guys. I mean, shooting the ball extremely well.
Now, here's Chalmers. Guarded closely. There's the pass to Morris. And it's blocked. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Great hustle to turn the block shot into a fast break hoop. That's a big-time play.
And the hope for Jeremy Lin last season was that he'd take a step forward in his development, but it almost was the opposite in his play.
And that can happen. You don't always go a straight line north in your improvement in this league. He'd been on an upward swing as far as his shooting accuracy, but last season was the worst since his rookie year in that area.
And that one falls for Lin.
And talking about Lin last season, he never quite gelled with what they were doing in Los Angeles. Both he and Kobe need the ball to be effective. And I got a feeling you guys know which one of those two is going to get it.
Now, here's Chalmers. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Shot clock at 6. Now, here's Grant. He's covered closely. Can't hit from the elbow.
And, you know, getting back to Lin, he was actually pretty strong starting out the season. In November, he made 48% of his shots, 37% from downtown. But in April, he only hit 24% from the field and was eventually shut down for the year.
1:43 left to play in the first quarter. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, a bit ago, Steve Clifford and I were able to chat. He told me that he's looking forward to this matchup, their first look at this team so far this season. He said they'll look to play up defensively. As usual, their length and shot blocking a great deterrent
Okay, thank you, Doris. And the defensive approach, guys, how do you think that'll play out here?
You know, sounds like they'd like to keep this a low-scoring affair. This could be one of those grind-it-out kind of games.
And I'm sure that would suit them just fine. It may not be what the fans want to see or hear, but a win is a win. Come on now. A W is a W, and that's what you're playing for.
And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for the Hornets.
You know, guys, we've really seen them do a lot of damage in the paint so far.
Also, guys, the passing has been terrific in the first half. They'll be happy with all those assists.
Young's checked in for Grant. Free throw, good. Oubre. Well, last season, the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs from 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
Winslow hits it from three-point range. And 1:01 left to play in the first. The feed to Oubre. He dishes it to Lynn. They set the pick. Here's Rozier, and he comes off the screen to bury the jump shot. And the Hornets lead by 6.
And I bet most people forget that the Pistons did make the playoffs for 8 straight years before this current drought. It's been a long rebuild process for them recently, but I think they're making progress and moving in the right direction.
Now, here is Young. He had a 30-point outing their last game against the Lakers. That's good. 29 seconds left in the first quarter. Rozier, the pass to Oubre. Here's the general, defended by Young. And Zeller kicks to Lynn. Zeller setting the pick for Lynn. 5 on the clock. Rebound by Mario Chalmers.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
Lynn. No good on the buzzer beater. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Hornets lead by 2. 2K Sports back in a moment here at the Time Warner Cable Arena in Charlotte. And Jeremy Lin, a player who's come a long way in his time in this league, from going undrafted out of Harvard to where he is now. He says he remains very grateful. Well, in a game filled with some pretty big egos, there are also guys like that who are living the dream in their own very grateful way. Lynn has certainly seen the highs and the lows.
And Kevin, not everyone's a superstar and certain of their future. Sometimes you get to be a superstar for a brief moment in time, but this game has a way of humbling people, even those who started out humble, like Lynn.
Up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And let's quickly break down the game, guys, we've been watching from the Hornets.
Just almost an intimidating factor when you're able to go out and consistently come up with the block shots like they have defensively.
Well, what happens is shooters begin to start looking for the shot blocker, and it does intimidate them.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the court for the Pistons, Andre Drummond is out there with Marcus Morris. Then it's Vujicic. Then there's Ramon Sessions. And it's Young in at small forward.
How about the perseverance there, the extra effort on that offensive glass?
Here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone. In the corner, Drummond with it. The 11-footer. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Drummond's got 8. Charlotte in the lead. Screen by Jefferson. Right side, Lynn. Andre Drummond grabs the miss. Drummond's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
And Steve Clifford might not be the most famous coach in the NBA, but he has plenty of experience, and everyone in the league knows exactly how well-versed he is as a coach.
Shot clock at 6. And it's all evened up. Drummond's got 4 points this quarter.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
It's becoming a theme in this game, Clark. They are piling up the points in the paint.
And it's sent back by Drummond. And here we go. Here's Vujacic. Chance there to take the lead. Missing. And a fast break now for the Hornets. Rozier the pass to Lynn. Charlotte moving the ball around. And the basket by Rozier. And Clifford in his 3rd year now as a head coach, Greg. That experience you were just talking about. He has 29 years of coaching under his belt. He's a Van Gundy disciple, Clark. Was on the coaching staff for both brothers.
Yeah, and he's been with a lot of teams, Kevin. 13 seasons as an assistant for the Lakers, Rockets, Magic, and Knicks.
Here's Young. After the basket by Charlotte. Launches a 3. It's rebounded by Charlotte.
Can't get anything to drop. I mean, the way he's going, it's probably not something he should try and shoot his way out of.
Well, they say you should shoot your way out of it, but his teammates probably have other thoughts in mind. The last thing they want to see him doing is continuing to cast that jumper up.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing the last matchup with the Lakers.
And you don't have to go too deep into the box score to figure out why they lost that one. They just had an inability on that day to make shots.
You know, sometimes we talk about a defense getting into the heads of the opposing players, Greg, but that night they got up in their own heads, just got in their own way and couldn't get out of it.
Now here's Sessions. Here's Drummond. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
Andre Drummond is a big guy. At the NBA Draft Combine, he measures 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan. And he tipped the scales at 280 pounds. That's a super heavyweight, my friends.
And he makes the first. And on the topic of Andre Drummond, Greg, there are a few guys in the league who combine his kind of size with the type of athleticism he possesses. Fast up and down the floor, quick off his feet, even sports a little hang time. I mean, the guy's got a full package athletically.
You talked about the raw physical tools. Then you factor in the 2 things as a big that I really value: great hands and quick feet. And he's got that going for him. So you can't go through him, you can't go around him, and you certainly can't go over him. I mean, what's left?
We can only hope to contain him, as they say. Taylor dishes to Zeller. Pick by Zeller. Hayward goes in. Just 5 to shoot. Detroit with the rebound. Drummond's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. And Sessions kicks to Ilya Silva. That is good.
And that lead pass allowed him to get straight to the rim, unabated, in stride.
Taylor passes to Lamb. There's the pick. Hayward outside. Lets a floater go. This is the Lamb. Just 3 to shoot. Takes a 3. No luck. Now the Pistons take it the other way. Kicks it to Sessions. He feeds it to Vujacic. And that misses. That would have put him up.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Hayward goes in. That's in, and that's his 4th basket of the night. He's taken 7 shots, a solid 57%.
How about that move? You'll see very few players able to pull off. Just sensational stuff.
Now here's Sessions. Screen by Grant. And Sessions kicks to Grant. Here's Drummond, and it is flushed down with a nice jam.
And putting in the work on the boards, and it's paying off with chances like that.
And G.A., he does put in the work. You're right. It's why he's on the finishing end of one putback slam after another.
Well, his effort has never been a question mark. He is an incredibly self-motivated player. Drummond having a terrific game. He's got 10 rebounds and 1 rejection in this game, too.
Was it a good one? Really, one of their highlights of the game defensively.
Now here's Lamb. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Here's Grant. Finished off the break. And the Pistons lead by 1. Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
And, guys, I think each team knows they can win this game, just a matter who can catch that momentum.
Even against solid defense, he's still going to try to continue to make that shot.
And I wouldn't bet against him in that situation the next time out.
Now, here's Grant, who's averaging around 5.5 points a game. He's off from 17 feet.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Taylor, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one, drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Yeah, the Pistons ended last season with a record of 32-50. They played decently enough against the rest of the East and had 23 of their 32 wins against the Eastern Conference.
Free throw good, Taylor. And Detroit last season against the East played well for stretches. They couldn't find that consistency to climb the ladder in the East.
And they had a lot of changes going on. Tons of transition for this group. But let's face it, they did play well down the stretch. A lot of wins against playoff teams from the East and went 500 against Eastern playoff teams in their final 10 matchup. And Charlotte had a lot of momentum going into last season off that playoff appearance. But they just stumbled out of the gates last season and spent the whole year playing catch-up.
Charlotte has gone 1 of 4 from 3-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. And he gets it to go. And that's 11 points for Gordon Hayward.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
And for the Hornets, they seemed to get back on track last January, but they faded Clark quickly after that. Were too far behind to make up room and get in the playoffs.
And, you know, they had a rash of injuries, Kevin, and that really did them in. All in all, was a season that just didn't have any traction for them because of the injuries. Kevin, he's definitely making his presence felt here in the first half. He's been very effective so far.
Taylor against Sessions. High, arcing shot. The shot by Taylor, no good. And Chalmers kicks to Ilya Silva. And there's the 3-second call, this one on the defense. Pistons have shot 5 of 8 from the foul line.
And Detroit was a 32-50 record last season. They didn't have any help from the schedule. They had a total of 22 back-to-back series on the year, tied for most in the league.
Now, here's Chalmers. He's tightly guarded. Takes the 3. The Pistons rebound. Pass to Winslow. Here's Drummond. That is good. Drummond's got 12 now in this quarter.
They probably would like to get their points on the first shot, no doubt, but they keep chasing down their misses.
Well, listen, you're going to always miss shots, so you'll take the extra effort because it pays big dividends when you can control that offensive glass.
Here is Hayward. After the made shot from Andre Drummond. Greg, you said the Pistons had a ton of back-to-back games. 44 were part of their back-to-backs, over half their schedule. Clark, they went 15 and 29 in those games.
And that's part of the reason why the NBA wanted to examine the schedule. I mean, it was a tough year for the Pistons. It's hard to get any momentum when you're playing that many back-to-backs.
No good on that one. And guys, over his first 3 seasons, no question Jeremy Lamb has been a major disappointment. Clark, his game simply didn't seem to evolve at all over that time.
Well, that's why scouting is an inexact science. You know, he was a major piece in that James Harden trade, Kevin, a few years back, but just hasn't found the traction anticipated for him.
Now here's Sessions. Feeds to Winslow. Drummond with a screen on Hayward. Here's Chalmers. Great use of the pick to create room for the jumper. And the Pistons lead by 3.
And on the topic of Lamb, he really has everything he needs to succeed. Great length and athleticism, was an excellent all-around jump shooter in college. For some reason, his game just hasn't translated to the NBA level yet. But I think if he can improve his motor, he's going to have an opportunity to be an impact player for a long time.
There's Winslow. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
All right, a chance to look at the stats for Hayward. The last 10 or so games, he has been remarkable. He's averaging about 19 points per, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. What incredible numbers. He has been a beast.
Impossible to guard right now. When he's on a roll like this, there's not much you can do to stop him.
That's good from Winslow.
And, you know, regarding Lamb's development, most scouts felt the weaknesses he did have could be ironed out over time. Well, there's still time. He needs to improve his strength, his ball handling, and his effort on defense. All things well within his control.
Aaron Baines, he's checked in for the Pistons. That's also good, so he hits both free throws.
You know, I thought Charlotte went to their bench as much as most other teams last season. Those guys ate up time for the starters, but weren't nearly efficient scoring the ball as you might want them to be.
Hornets trail by 5. Taylor kicks to Hayward. Back to Taylor. He makes that one drop, only a second and 5 tries.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but boy, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there. He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys, but as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
That drops. And it's 8 points for the General.
Well, you can't give him that kind of a position in the post.
Oh, without question. I mean, when he gets it in that tight and that close, that's easy. Real easy.
Now, here's Chalmers. 11 points for him in that last game against the Lakers. From downtown, can't get it to go. And the Hornets now going the other way. Hayward on the wing, defended by Chalmers, and Jefferson gets double-teamed. Fires the 3, and he gets the bucket. 9 points for the Crook.
And fellas, in this quarter, he's improved on what was already a very good performance in period number 1.
1:53 left in the first half of basketball. In the corner at Sessions. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers. Sessions has got 6 points. Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly...
And that is a major league flush right there, my friends.
And in a tight contest like this, Greg, that might be just what they need to get the tide rolling in their direction.
You're exactly right. I mean, so often when a team gets that kind of explosive play out of its backcourt, that can really rally and galvanize the whole squad.
For Detroit, they have shot the ball pretty well from the line, going 8 of 11.
And 75% on the season as a unit from the free throw line.
And, you know, you don't have to tell them what their free throw numbers are. I mean, they're well aware of it, believe me.
And the technical free throw is good. And one thing about Mario Chalmers last season, he really had to play a different role. And it took him some time, Greg, to get used to.
Yeah, and anytime your team loses a superstar like LeBron James, other guys get asked to do a little bit more. Mario was asked to be more of an aggressive scorer, a role that isn't so easy to jump into after 6 years of being that 4th or 5th option in the offense.
Charlotte has gotten cold from deep in the second quarter, just 2 of 6 from long range. Here's Rozier, defended by Chalmers. Rozier, the pass to the general. That's in. That's his 5th field goal. He's shooting a hot 71%, 5 for 7.
You know, going back to Mario Chalmers last year, guys, I mean, having to take on more of a scoring role was tough for him. His field goal percentage dropped 50 points from the season before. His three-point percentage dropped even more. His assist numbers were down. Well, I bet you part of that was the fact LeBron was no longer there.
And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. That sends Justice Winslow to the free throw line. It's on Al Jefferson.
And on the topic of Chalmers, you know, he's a complimentary player. He can D up, he can hit the open three. He's been known to hit big shots, a solid finisher, and that is valuable. But when you ask him maybe to do a little too much, then you're not playing to his strength.
Here's Rozier. He has 7. It's stolen by Morris. And here's the fast break. Chalmers leading the way. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Outside, Lynn beyond the arc. Rebound, Detroit. And now the Pistons, fast break. Winslow's running. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Winslow's got 12 points in the game.
No doubt that is within his range.
Well, I would hope so. He's a pro, and it was only a 1-footer. Come on now.
Here's Rozier. Taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now, he averages about 9 points a game. Takes the 3. No good on that last second attempt there. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. It's Detroit. They're up by 3. We'll see you after halftime for the beginning of the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Hope you've been enjoying the excitement so far. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. Andre Drummond having an outstanding game. He had 18 points, 13 rebounds, and 1 block. It's really great to see him back to what appears to be top form coming off the injury. There's a sense of reassurance that he's healthy after the first 2 quarters back. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
Well, their success was largely about second chance points. They crashed the offensive boards heavy in the first half. I love how they fight for every 50-50 ball like it's the last ball on earth.
And big fella, your thoughts on the Hornets?
Well, if you can't shoot the ball, you might want to stop chucking it up. They keep trying the 3, but it's not going down. They're relying too much on the 3 ball. Way too much. It's good when it's falling for you, but when it's not, you have to try something else.
So that does it for us. Hope you enjoyed our halftime show. Now, we take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half call.